Hello, I'm Bruce Alexander, and I talk about your imagination, how to recover it, expand it, and combine it with your logical mind to achieve a range of business or personal objectives. Personal objectives? Absolutely. People with big imaginations have more opportunity for life enjoyment and obviously more creative careers. Business objectives? Yes again. Innovative companies get first mover advantage and create new markets they can brand and own. Sound interesting? It's more than interesting. It's career changing, company changing, and life changing for some. And it's been my privilege to restore and enlarge people's imaginations in 6 countries over the past 30 years. Now, if you're watching this, it means AAE speakers have recommended me or you found me on the website. So, you may prefer to view my highlights reel. If you haven't seen it, then come back here and I'll explain what you saw and how my topics relate to different conference audiences. Welcome back. That was quick. So, human imagination. We all have one. It's why we humans have done so well. Picture the face of someone you know. Got it? You just created a mental image. In other words, imagination. In our dreams, imagination goes way beyond that, creating those wonderful stories that mirror life but with a certain, dreamlike quality. Now, imagine a dream walking around in daylight. It would be so full of luster, so much larger than life. Well, naturally creative people do more than imagine it. They can switch from dream thinking to logical thinking and back without falling asleep. That's not just an idea, it's scientific. I was connected to an MRI at Westmead Research Institute. They found me quicker than anyone they had tested at switching from logical beta brain pattern to the highly imaginative alpha brain state and back. That inherent mental faculty of states of mind allowed me to achieve some very satisfying outcomes internationally as a composer and advertising creative, among other things. Now, people would say, how did you think of that? I didn't think of it. I imagined it, and then I thought about what I had imagined. Composing a tune took even less conscious effort. Strictly speaking, I didn't compose my hundreds of original melodies. I just allowed that inner voice to play them and wrote down exactly what I had heard. Yes, the formation of tunes occurs at a deeper level of imagination than words, because words are themselves the product of logical thought. But hey, we're getting off the track. Back to you. Whether your objective or the objective of your conference audiences is professional development, business innovation, artistic creativity, building more revealing what-if scenarios, staying ahead by outthinking AI, or just harnessing natural creativity for the joy of it, this core reality underlines them all. Thinking in 2 minds at once sure beats one or the other. The master imaginers have proved this. Einstein was also a painter. Leonardo da Vinci was also an inventor. Children's author and artist Beatrix Potter was a scientist. These individuals in whom logical reasoning and vivid imagination intersect, they found the secret. Creative people can think like they're dreaming without falling asleep. They venture into that wonderful world of the imagination without their ideas evaporating into the morning light. Answer 2, yes, people can become more like them, and it's very liberating when they do. Answer 3, of course we should try to be more like them. Artificial intelligence will hit logical thinkers very hard because your knowledge is now discoverable by anyone. Your years of experience are no longer your key asset. But AI can't imagine. It just feeds on what's already there. And because billions of words already on the web are themselves generated by AI, it feeds on itself. It's not original. If you are, you'll always be a step ahead. While practicing as an advertising creative, I became fascinated with the idea of identifying what natural creatives possess that others can use. My postgrad studies swept me into the hallowed halls of academe, including speaking at the World Innovation and Strategy Conference, along with 64 academics from 16 countries. Only 7 of the many papers presented throughout the conference received special commendations, mine among them. So, if you're a natural creative, I speak your language. If you're a structured systems thinker or an academic, I speak your language too. My aim is to bridge the gap between both thinking styles and allow them to combine and synergize. So why do people who are already high achievers recognize the need to harness more of their own imagination? Here are the reasons, and you may find they fit neatly with your conference objectives. Reason 1. We've already mentioned the need to outthink artificial intelligence to shore up your career. Listen, some expert sources say AI can read an X-ray better than a radiologist. Tough break for radiologists after a lifetime of study. And that's just one of myriad professions, now vulnerable because they rely on existing knowledge rather than innovating new knowledge. AI knows everything up until a year ago and can sort and combine it with dazzling speed, but AI does not have an imagination. Develop yours in a hurry if you want to stay relevant once AI learns your job. I can tell by the look on your faces. You get my point. Next good reason. Corporations need business imagination to generate better ideas sooner, to gain first mover advantage or stay relevant in an era of rapid change. Look, all the iPhone did was move the keys onto the screen, and within 1 year the whole world had thrown away their metal key phones. Tough break for Nokia, BlackBerry, Ericsson, Sony and all the rest. They thought they were safe. Oh dear. Your business needs a corporate imagination, or your competitors will think up your next idea for you. The third good reason is the imagination is essential for artistic creativity, whether that's for profit or just enjoyment. I love listening to other people's songs as much as anyone, but take it from me, nothing can compare with the joy of bringing to life a beautiful original song, one that evokes emotions people would not have accessed so easily until your song opened up their heart. You know, most people go through their life with their best songs still unsung. I'm so satisfied when people tell me I have liberated their imagination and enabled them to create things they would otherwise have, well, only dreamed of. So, is the topic of imagination limited to outsmarting AI, creating business innovation, or accessing your artistic side? No. Even logical thinkers with no ambition to become imaginative still benefit, but it shows up differently. Teach an accountant to play the xylophone. You don't get a better xylophone player, but you do get a better accountant. This again is scientific. Once the brain activates connections it wasn't using, it will apply these to whatever else you think about. Next time you're encouraged to open up your mind, think about what that phrase actually means. Again, it's scientific. Transcranial magnetic stimulation is a medical procedure that passes a mild current through parts of the brain that severely depressed people don't use. Once activated, the brain quickly incorporates it into regular thinking. This is analogous to the effect of reactivating the imaginative brain hemisphere, including the minds of technical or scientific audiences. Now, there's also evidence that your imagination can assist in emotional recovery after a major trauma or very disappointing life event. Martin Seligman, author of Learned Optimism, is an authority on the new science of happiness. I respect his work immensely. Seligman's groundbreaking 2015 study with Anne-Marie Ropeke, that's R-O-E-P-K-E, is mind-opening because it explains prospection, how our imagination can take us on a journey to a future time where the sorrows of the past are temporarily far away. Finally, if your audiences are financial advisors or professionals who offer very long-term solutions, they have a new problem. The pace and stress of everyday life, the tidal wave of information overload and the constant pestering of social media have locked society into a crisis of short-term thinking. Psychologists call it presentism, the opposite of prospection or teleological thinking. Not surprisingly, I'm a campaigner against social media. Don't look for me on Facebook or anywhere else. If the price I pay is a lower profile, I'll pay it. Social media's nagging interruptions lock people into a permanent present tense and give them the habit of responding to small short-term issues. This drowns out their long-term teleological thinking and changes everything for the financial advisor. I mean, how can a retirement pension plan that doesn't pay out until decades from now mean anything to someone stuck like glue in the present tense, the eternal now? My presentation, A View to the Future, explains how financial advisors and other high-end sales professionals can unlock the imagination of their clients and allow them to take a mental journey into their imagined future that's vivid enough and informative enough to motivate better financial decisions today. That same far-sighted future intuition circles back to the business decision maker. They can play what if a lot better because they see it happening in their imagination. Vividly imagined future scenarios may not always be right, but they're always enlightening, even if they only show how the future is not going to be. Sound interesting? Well, vital, more like it. My topics all centre around expanding your imagination, combining it with your logical mind, and using this dual plane thinking to maximise these opportunities. Outthinking AI, expanding your imagination to accelerate your career. Business imagination, boosting corporate creative intelligence. Dual plane thinking, imagination for technical professionals. Exploring the back of your mind, liberating your personal creativity. Happiness reimagined, the authentic pathway to a happier version of yourself. A view to the future, restoring a client's perspective on their future self. What will your conference audiences achieve from these dual plane thinking tools? I'll leave you to imagine that. Imagination? Well, imagine that. Hey, I'm Bruce Alexander. Let's talk soon.